Well, hey, and welcome to part 2A of the Your Model Railway Village series. I think it's going to be called part 2A. I'm not too sure exactly how I'm going to do the naming system yet. But basically, before I continue with loads and loads of other parts that have come through the mail, we need to do some model building, don't we? If you remember, we got the station house with part 2, and we got the other parts of the station house with part 3, I think. And I did put it out there. I said, look people, would you like to see me build it? Would you like to see me put it all together and stuff? And you overwhelmingly said yes. So here I am. The parts are in this binder now. You can see that there's hardly any in there. And I've got loads all over the house waiting to be opened. They've come with trees and tons of stuff. So I definitely need to crack on. But let's just look at the instructions. We know that the first part came with some track and a coach, so we can ignore that. But here we go. Part 2 came with this station building. If you can see it just there, I hope you can. It's a very, very sunny day, so I totally can't see the screen on the camcorder. But I hope that you can see it okay. Even today, many station buildings in both cities and rural areas date from the Victorian times. They do, yeah. Modernisation in the 60s saw the demolition of some buildings, yes. There's practically nothing left in Crewe. Brilliant. That's the council, that is. Little Benton station in a typical Victorian red brick building, a material that would have been available up and down the country. Some of the British stations are constructed in local stone, but red brick, blah, blah, blah. So, basically, it's talking about the materials here. Many buildings had simple decoration in the form of single lines, contrasting brickwork, outlining windows, doors, for example. The roof is grey slate, again on a material that is readily available up and down the country. Building a station, the parts included with this issue are 2 side walls, booking hall, gable end, 2 side walls for station master's house, 2 gable wall ends for station master's house, 2 chimneys, 2 sets of chimney pots, drain pipes. Yes, I think that's exactly what we've got if we just get this open. So if I take the track out and put the track away, because we don't need that yet. So there's one of those. That's the gable end, yes, that's true. They're the chimney pots it was on about. Those are the drain pipes. And then there's more, or what's it called them? Are they gable ends for the station master's house? Excuse me. And then we've got more walls, and oh, I do apologise, those are the chimney pots, just there. These little cream coloured ones. Throw the plastic away. So, yes, I see what they're saying. I see what they're saying about the red brickwork that was typically available all over the country during the Victorian era. But, I mean, just look at it. It looks very unrealistic, doesn't it? It doesn't look very good. And that brings me on to my next point. And that's where we turn over the page. So here are the instructions on how to assemble it. Remove main parts from packaging and identify them. You can check how the parts fit together, but do not glue them until you have all the parts for the station. Well, they've come now, so we can do it. Detailed instructions will be given in the next issue. Oh, okay. The walls fit together to create the 2 parts of the building, and these 2 sections are then joined together. We suggest that you leave the smaller parts inside their plastic bag until you need them. Oops, I've already opened them, but no. Oh no, I haven't. I must admit, with the stuff over here, it's still in its bag. So there we go. Customise your model. Now this is it. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. Look at this. Customise your model. Natural walls. Because the station is moulded from plastic in a single colour, it looks very stark. Ha! Yes. You're telling me. I've never seen a station building in that colour. There are various ways of adding your own finish to the walls, and this can be done at this stage if required. The paint is water-based, so the process makes a minimum of mess. Clean the parts thoroughly with detergent to remove any oily finish left by the manufacturing process. Rinse well. Use a broad soft brush to apply a layer of water all over the surface of the wall. Use a buff-coloured acrylic paint. Mix with water to create a wash, about 3 parts water to 2 parts paint. Brush over the wet surface of the wall. Use a small dry brush to lift excess water from the surface of the wall. Allow to dry completely and repeat if necessary to get the desired effect. Right. Yeah, so that's something that you could do, and they're certainly recommending it to me that I do that. But I'm not going to do that. I understand where they're coming from, and if you look at the walls, there is some pretty nice detail on them, isn't there? I mean, there's this brickwork that's sort of pronounced, it sort of stands out against the rest of the orange brickwork. And that brickwork is quite nice, and they've painted it white, which is quite good. But I still don't think it looks very realistic. It doesn't look natural enough to me. It doesn't look weathered or realistic enough. And so I've got this. You just know that something's going to be good when it makes that kind of sound. You just do. So this is the Humbrol acrylic spray. This particular one was $4.99, but I don't think I paid that. I think I paid a little bit less. I've got some really good deals going on with model shop owners, let's just say that. So this is matte white, and the matte is very, very important, because what I'm going to do with this paint, and this I recommend for any model, whether you're building a station house, the Star Trek Deep Space Nine, or a Ford Focus RS, whatever model you're building, I recommend that you start with one of these. And that's what I'll be doing. I'm going to be laying all these pieces out on a piece of newspaper outside, and then I'm basically just going to, I'm not going to do it here obviously, I'll get in trouble, I'm just going to spray nice and gently at a good distance over all of them, and then they're going to be coated in a nice fine layer of matte white paint, just like that. And once that's dried, yes, I know all the detail will be gone, all the orange will be gone, but that's fine, that's totally fine. I want to paint them my own colour anyway, and I'll show you me doing that, and I'll make it a lot more realistic than they ever could, trust me. So our first step then is to take all these parts outside and get them all sprayed. Okay, so here we are with all the parts laid out, and I did a little test just before filming. This is basically going to be like a, well, I think it's where the, oh yeah, the mailbags are collected from the night mail, and I've got several of these. So basically, I've just sprayed this in this lovely matte white, and it's just perfect. Absolutely beautiful finish. You can see that I need to finish it off, but it's just a perfect finish ready for painting. So the parts are laid out, the can is primed, or at least it is now. So here we go. Really, really calm as well. It's not windy, so that's good. Oh, there's an ambulance again. And there we go. You don't need to do any more than that. That's absolutely fine. I need to go away now, have a drink, have something to eat, let that dry, come back and see what it's like. Okay, I'm back. I've had a drink, I've had some cake, I've watched some YouTube vids. Let's see what they're like. Okay, you can clearly see that it's a little bit heavier there than there, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. In fact, that might make it a little bit more realistic. But basically, all of the parts have been finished in this perfect coat of white paint. It's just ever so gentle. You can even see the orange behind still kind of coming through. That's brilliant. That's exactly what we wanted. It's even managed to get quite a lot of the chimney stack, which is pretty good. So I just need to light down that side now to get this side. There we go. But they're done, so I can take those away. They're all fantastic. I think the drain pipes, yeah, the drain pipes are okay. They can be taken away as well. And what about the actual chimney pots? Yeah, they're not too bad. With them being light coloured anyway, they don't really need any more paint. I have brought down the parts that came in number 3, I think, because obviously we need to do a few of these as well. We need to do that roof, definitely. we need to do that roof. The steps, yes, let's get the steps out of the bag. We'll do the steps too, because I'm going to paint them in like a lovely natural stone finish. So we need to do those. Oh. So I'll just stand them there. Windows, I don't think so. Nope. Nope. And those are windows as well, so no, 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 no. So we don't do any of the windows. And as for these, well, these are basically the supports that go inside the building. So I'm pretty sure that they don't need painting, because basically all the other parts connect to these parts. So they're not going to need painting. You're not going to see them. So it's basically just those. So I'm going to get those done now. Again, same as before. Three, two, one. Okay, so here we are. I've had another drink, watched some more YouTube stuff, and it's been about another half an hour. The weather today is absolutely fantastic. It's just so dry, and it's quite mild, so that has dried to perfection. Just look at that. It's absolutely brilliant. I couldn't ask for it to be any more perfect. And it's the same with this one. So let's take them inside. Okay, and we're back in the office. So, here are all our parts. Let me just make some room. I'll come back onto the instructions in a second. I just want to show you all the parts. So here we go. I hope you can see okay. But just look at the finish on that. It's absolutely perfect. It's not too heavy, there's not too much matte white on there. There's just enough so that you can apply basically any colour you want, any detail you want. That's absolutely spot on. That's how good that kind of paint is, the matte white acrylic by Humbrol. I use it for loads of my models, I really do, and I knew it would be good here too. So all the little chimney pots, all the walls and the gable ends, the drain pipes, and then of course we've got the roofs. There we go, two nice big roofs, and yep, the chimney stacks, there's one, there's the other, and then some steps as well. So there we go. The only things that weren't painted, as I pointed out, were the structural bits that go inside and the windows. You definitely don't want to do them. So there we go. Those are the main components to the station house, the country house, the station building, done and ready to assemble. Now, this is where we have a problem, because I have been going through the instructions here, and if you remember, ages ago it did say detailed instructions will be given in the next issue. Just there. I don't know if you can see that. Just here it says detailed instructions will be given in the next issue. But I have looked through all of the issues I have in here, and there aren't any detailed instructions. And I'm sure I've put 3 editions of the series into here. So I'm going to have to go off around the house and find out where they've gone. Okay, I'm back, and yeah, I've obviously been a little bit silly, a little bit daft. There's number 3. I don't know why I haven't processed it, so to speak. I don't know why I haven't read it all properly. Look, those are the instructions I was on about. Absolutely perfect. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't done it. I have done it with the other ones, but for this one I haven't for some reason. So yeah, there's number 3. There's number 4. And then I've even got number 5, 6, 7, and then downstairs we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, I think. So I've definitely got my work cut out. But now we've got the instructions, I can move all this to one side and actually put it together. Okay, so I've cleared the space. Sorry it's about an hour later again. I'm a very popular person. I have to deal with lots and lots of messages and lots of emails and stuff like that. But I'm here. So we have number 3 here, issue 3, and it says station parts and straight track. The second set of station parts completes all you need to build your station. Well, duh. You will find detailed instructions on these pages. So, building your station parts for the issue. 2 roof sections, 2 floor panels. Yes, I know what I got, trust me. I've just painted half of it. Okay, so, instructions here then say, remove the doors and windows from the sprue. Use a fine file to remove any unevenness where they were attached. Okay, so this is where the other part of the whole series comes into test, with the little toolkit that they give you. So here I am with the toolkit that they gave me. This came free with, it's either the first issue or the second issue or the third issue, I can't remember. But I think you got this if you subscribed or something like that. Sorry if my voice is going, it's because I've been doing a lot of talking lately. But let's see if they have all the required bits. Well, I have to be honest. There's a file. I did not expect them to give you a file, but they have. They've given you a file. It's quite a nice one actually. If you don't have anything like this, don't worry. Just an emery board will do, which is just basically like a piece of sandpaper but in a stick, and great for rubbing off dry skin and filing your nails and stuff. So this should do a pretty good job, and if not, I'll go get an emery board. They've given me some tweezers too, which is fine, but I'm not going to need them just yet. Some little clamps, again, not going to need those just yet. Ruler, definitely not going to need that just yet. And a knife. So obviously be careful if you're quite young, because it's very, very sharp. But I don't even think I'll need the knife, possibly. I should be able to just snap things out of the sprue, you know, bend them until they go, and then just file away the excess. So let's have a go at one. I mean, which one shall I do first? There's so many little bags of windows. Let's do these green ones first, because I think they'll show up on camcorder quite well, won't they? I hope you can see all this, by the way. It's a gamble. I can't see the screen. I'm just letting you know. Okay, so here's the first one. So yeah, they look like doors. They're door shaped anyway. So there we go. That was simple enough. I just snapped it off, but you can see there's a little bit of crud on the top there. It's a bit rough, it's a bit unfinished. So I'm not going to worry about having anywhere proper to do this. It's only a little bit of plastic. I'll just get the vacuum cleaner. I'm just going to file away. Hey, it's working. It's going down. You've just got to be careful, I suppose, that you don't file away too much. I'm also taking a huge gamble here, aren't I, in that I can't win. There'll probably be people watching this saying, oh, we don't really need to see how you do all this. But then likewise, if I didn't do this, there'd be people commenting saying, well, I thought you were going to show us how to do all this. So I absolutely can't win. You can't please everybody all the time, trust me. But I'm showing you anyway. I'm not going to show you for every single one, but I'm going to show you for just one of them. So there we go. I think that's perfect, isn't it? Oh, look at that. That's just so smooth. Brilliant. So, the instructions have basically told me to do that for all the windows, of which there's loads. So I'm going to break them all off, file them all down, and then we'll see what the next stage is. Okay, well, again, it's been ages later. I've had a drink, I've made someone else a drink, I've had something to eat. I have spoken to my dad on the phone, I've checked eBay, I've checked Facebook. Oh, right. But I have crucially filed down all of these windows. But I didn't just file them down. I used these as well. These are my track cutters. And the reason I recommend using these is because they're just so good at getting rid of little bits of plastic sprue. Some of the little bits of sprue you can end up with on the edges of the windows and whatever kit it is you're making, some of the bits of sprue can be so big that to file them down seriously would take ages. It would take a long time. You would get through loads of files or loads of emery boards or whatever just trying to get it done. and the more you do it, the more you risk actually damaging the entire piece. So, with really big bits of sprue, I really do recommend that you use something like these track cutters. Now, I have mentioned this before, I think, and somebody did comment and say, oh, well, you shouldn't do that with the track cutters because it'll blunt them and they won't be very good. Well, fine. I mean, I haven't actually noticed that yet. They still are incredibly sharp and perfectly good at cutting track. But even if it does blunt them slightly and they don't become very good at cutting track, for £10 I can buy some more. I can buy another pair, so I can have one pair maybe to do all my model making with, and then another pair to do all my track cutting with. It really isn't a problem. So, they're all done. All the sprues have been cut off. They've all been filed down to a beautiful smooth edge, so that's perfect. And obviously it's made a mess. There's little bits of plastic all over the place now. So I'm going to get the vacuum cleaner, tidy all that up, and then move on to the next stage. Okay, so again, it's been about another half an hour. I mean, I've even had some dinner now and had a shower and everything. But I've also tidied up the mats, and so we have all our little windows all completely ready to put into the mould. There's loads of them, isn't there? Gosh, this is ridiculous. Just look how many windows there are. Mental. Okay, so we've done that. What's the next step? Press the doors and windows in place on the inside of the walls. If the fit is too tight, use a round file to enlarge the holes slightly. Right. Okay. So they seriously, I mean, they literally just want me to press them into place. Oh, I see. Ah, right. So basically, so this is one of the gable ends. This is one of the matte white painted pieces that we did a bit ago. They want me to push these windows into place over the pegs, like that. You see that? So basically around every single place where there's a window, there's these 4 pegs, and there are holes in the windows that correspond to those pegs. So it's just literally a case of pushing it in place. Well, I guess that's simple enough. I hope they're going to hold. I suppose I could also glue them into place, just in case they pop out after the model is finished and there's no way of getting in there again. Maybe I should glue them into place as well. With just a little bit of polycement maybe? What do you think? I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never built a model like this before. I'll scan ahead in the instructions and see what... This really does annoy me that the bottom page is loose. Oh, I need to file it away. But I'll scan ahead in the instructions and find out what they want me to do at the next stage, and the next stage, and the next stage, and the next stage. And then I'll make an informed decision on whether I will cement them into place or not. Yeah, so I'll be back in a bit. Well, hey, and welcome back to... I don't even know what part of the video this is now. As you can see, it's another day. The sun is shining outside. It's a pretty nice day today. And I did it. I did put everything together, as you saw. All the windows are in place. It was actually pretty easy. The instructions did go on about how if the holes don't quite fit over the pins, then to file the holes down. And I'm thinking, yeah, with that, I don't think so. So basically, I was very, very lucky, and everything's fine. Everything's slotted onto it fine. I think there was one window, I think it was possibly one of these windows here, on this gable end, that was really tough, and I really, really had to push to get it to go into place. But other than that, it's fine. The only thing I have got a problem with are the doors. Look at that. I mean, they're illuminous green. That's not very realistic, is it? So, to be honest, the doors could have been painted too. I really aren't very happy about that. I might have to get some masking tape. Hang on. Here we go. This is special modelling masking tape by Tamiya, and I might put some of this all the way around that door and then spray the door white so that I can actually paint it a realistic colour like red or black rather than a luminous glow-in-the-dark green. But apart from that, they're really good. I'm very impressed with the quality actually. The plastic's not the highest quality plastic in the world, but it's very, very strong. It's not too brittle, and the paint has taken to it lovely. Really, really nice. You can even still see a difference in colour on the raised bricks, the ones I was worried about having to paint white. So that's going to make painting it the colour I want it to be much easier. Now, that brings us on to something else. Oh, actually, no, just quickly, before I forget, I just wanted to show you the two roof bits. Just look how well these go together. Look at this. Look at that. How nice is that? Seriously, I was expecting it to be so rubbish, but I'm genuinely, honestly, pretty impressed. Well, nah, impressed is a strong word, but I'm not disappointed, that's for sure. I'm not as disappointed as I thought I would be. But yeah, anyway, painting. Right, okay, obviously it's a Victorian brick building, so we want it to be a red of sorts. I'm not too sure what red to do it. I'm going to have to do some researching now. I'm going to have to either go outside and go and look at these kinds of buildings in real life, of which I know there are several in my county, or I'm going to have to scour the internet and look through books to find a station house that's a colour I'd like to copy, basically. That's what I need to do now. Or is it? I mean, what am I going to do? Am I literally going to paint all of the parts in perfect detail before putting it together? Or am I going to put it all together and then paint it? It's that age-old modelling thing, isn't it? Just, you never know what to do. Well, in my experience, you can't win, basically. If you paint all of the parts whilst they're like this, then the very act of gluing them together can damage that paint. The glue is usually poly cement, whether it's in a tube like this or whether it's brushed on out of a bottle. But basically that glue can melt. I mean, it works by melting the plastic essentially, but it also melts the paint, you see. So if you're not careful, just a tiny little bit of paint creeping around the outside of a join can ruin, just a tiny bit of glue creeping around the outside of a join can ruin the paint. And if you've spent hours getting the finish just perfect, that will really annoy you. Really annoy you. But then likewise, to put the whole thing together and then paint it makes it very hard to paint, because you can pretty much only do one section and then you have to put it down, go away, wait several hours, come back, pick it up and do the next section. Because that process takes a long time, I reckon that's the one to go with. Because model making is all about patience. And there's no way you can build even something like a station house in just a day, or even 2 days. In fact, it's probably going to take me a week. And that's doing it as fast as possible. So yeah, that must be the best way to do it. So what I'm going to do is put everything together according to the instructions. It seems pretty straightforward. It's basically just pieces slotting into pieces like that. I mean, it says it can clip together without the use of glue. That's how easy it says it is. So that's what I'm going to do. And then once it's assembled, I'll show it you. Then we'll paint it. How about that? Well, hey, and welcome back. Again, I've got no idea what part this is, so I'm just going to carry on with it. We've made quite a bit of progress. It's going really well, actually. This is the... well, I think it's... what do they class it now as? The station master's house? No. This is the ticket office, that's right. Okay, so this is the ticket office, and this is the station master's house over here. These bits have been glued in, so that's really good. It's a nice system, to be honest. It's very strong, very sturdy. Just a little bit of poly cement was needed. Don't worry about it being warped. That'll sort itself out once everything else all joins together. And I've just done this bit here as well. This is the end of the station master's house, and this gigantic hole is where I think this is going to connect to it. Something like that, I think. I'm not too sure. I think so. We'll see. We'll find out. But again, it fits together really nice. Just a little bit of poly cement's needed, and then it's just locked in. And it's just drying now. That's it. In fact, I'm going to put a little clamp on there if I can. There we go. And another one on the other side as well, just to hold that in place, because I want to make sure that that's nice and solid. So. It's a gorgeous day, so I'm going to go back outside and I'll come back to these when they've dried. Well, hey, and welcome back. Again, I have no idea what part this is now. Part 243, I think. It's day 4? Day 5? I'm not even sure, I've lost count. basically it takes a long time to build a model, doesn't it? You have to glue a tiny little piece and then walk away for 2 or 3 hours and then come back, glue another tiny little piece and then go away again. It takes patience and dedication, it really does. But look, we're done. I've just put the cap back on the glue because I've just cemented the roofs onto both of these buildings. So this is basically the station house. This is the place where the owner lives, I guess, the guy who manages the station, or a woman. It was usually a couple. And then this is the ticket office. Now, I have been a little bit over excited with the glue up at the top here, if you can just see. There's some discoloration there slightly, and there's a mark on the roof as well. Basically, I put too much on. When putting the roof on, a little bit seeped out at the end there and went all over the roof, which is very odd. But, you know, it's not a problem. Well, I could either leave it and it could just be like natural weathering, or I could just easily touch it up afterwards, and that's what I'll probably do. It's quite easy to do, again, just with the paint, just quickly over, and it should be fine. It should be fine. There's nothing to worry about. It's actually been quite a good model to build. It's been relatively trouble-free. I thought that I'd have lots of problems. I thought things wouldn't fit properly, but it's actually been pretty good. Oops, I've just noticed I've got some glue on the mat there. That's lovely. So, despite me being a little bit heavy-handed with the glue, it's a really, really nice model. It's very well built, very well designed, very strong and sturdy, and yeah, I've not really got anything bad to say about it. Everything's fitted together quite nicely. The windows have stayed in place. Well, I have glued them, so I guess the next step is obviously to connect these two separate buildings together, like that. And then once that's done, the next step will be to paint it. And for that I need to do some research, I've already mentioned. So anyway, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to go off on my bike, get a bit of riding done, and then I'll come back and glue these two bits together, and then that should be it. Well, hey, I'm back. The weather's still gorgeous. I've just been on an awesome bike ride, and it's time to just glue these last two parts together now. The ticket office thing and the station house. So I'll go easier on the glue this time, not so much. Less is more and all that. So basically just running a little bit. You can't see like that with that hand. I'll have to use my left hand. But basically just a little bit down this leading edge. Yeah, I'll put a little bit down the bottom as well. And then a little bit up the top. Only a little bit. Now I'll put a little bit along the lining of the roof. And there we go. That should be enough, in theory. We hope. So, time to just check everything lines up okay. There we go. Right, well, I think that's it. That's actually gone together really well. I was expecting it to be much worse than that. But it's not too bad. You can see it's not quite perfect down here. Yeah, the bricks don't line up exactly. But, well, I don't think it'll be a problem. There's barely well, there's probably not even 1/4 of a millimeter's difference. But it's just not quite perfect. But, I mean, considering, that's not too bad really. So, well, I'm just going to have to hold this here now, aren't I, for a while? So it's not going to make for very entertaining viewing, I'm afraid. And I'll carry on recording again in a second. Well, it's the end of day 247 and the station house is complete. I genuinely don't know how many days it's taken to do this, but it's quite a few. But there we go. It's built, it's done. As you can see, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. And having the little workstation here to do it in the office next to all of my computers and stuff, it's actually been really good. It's actually really helped. There are a few little places, like at the end of the gable end here, where I'm going to have to give it a touch up, just on the roof there too. And I think just there by the roof there's also a little bit of smudging. Basically it's me just being a little bit too heavy-handed with the glue. But apart from that, it's really good. It's really good. Oops, actually, yeah, I've forgotten to put the drain pipes on. But they're only a really tiny part. So I'll get those put on. And I think the only... Oh, of course, yes. I've forgotten the steps as well. There we go. Yeah, the steps are pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm back. And now it is truly finished. Honestly, it is 100% done now. I've put the drain pipes on. There's one just at the end of the station office there. The ticket office. That's it, yeah, the ticket office. This is the ticket office. This is the station house. So I'm assuming that this is where the person who operates the station lives, and that's where customers and paying travellers go. And then there's another drain pipe just on the edge of the station house here. So I've put that on, and I've put this one on too. They were a little bit tough to get into the pegs, so what I did, sorry, the pegs were a little bit tough to get into the holes. So what I did was I just took the end of this really sharp knife, and then basically just shoved the knife in, gave it a few turns, just to widen the hole ever so slightly, and excuse me, really got a frog in my throat this evening. And that was it, that was good enough. And then of course there's the steps. And for the steps I basically did the same thing. So there were 4 pegs on each set of steps and 4 corresponding holes. So again, I took the edge of the knife off, the end of this knife off, there we go. And then I basically put that into each hole, gave it a little twiddle, widened them all slightly, and then I put a little bit of glue on each peg, in they went, job's a good one. So that's it. As you can see, the entire building is now complete. And the next step is to paint it. So I need to do some research and find out exactly what colours I'm going to paint it and how I'm going to paint it. And then we're going to weather it. And we're going to weather it using a whole load of different techniques and stuff. And all of that will be in the next video.
Thank you.